Hey everybody, it's me, Shakti Sundari. Haven't made a Facebook Live for a while, and I've been feeling called for a while to just make this little video message for you all about Tantric Meditation. I'm going to be offering a course of workshops in London starting on the 12th 13th of September on a Thursday evening. And I just wanted to speak to this topic of what is Tantric meditation. So often when we hear the word meditation, I know I used to perceive this. I think it's easy to perceive something that might be boring, that might require sitting down and being still the whole time, that something that is challenging, something that is difficult, something that's boring, that we don't really want to do because the busyness of life is more enticing or because we just are too busy. So those are some of the associations with the word meditation that I have and that I've seen other people have. And the wonderful thing about Tantric meditation is that it kind of answers all of those reasons why one might not want to do it or might not feel drawn to it, but gives you all the benefits. I say this as someone who has been practicing embodied awareness, which for me is a form of meditation, for 15 years, and Kundalini yoga and meditation with a particular training, intensive training in Kundalini meditation for almost 10 years, and exploring many different forms of consciousness, awareness, embodied awareness, and most recently having learnt transcendental meditation. So I have some experience, and I know that for me, the quickest and best route to reaching a state of feeling connected with all that is, or transcending the small mind and the small self, is, for example, to dance. When I dance, I am ultimately very quickly in an ecstatic state of oneness and bliss with everything, which is a form of transcendence and is a form of meditation, because the mind is no longer thinking thoughts. There's no thought of this, there's no thought of anything. There simply is life moving through this body. So that is a form of meditation. So in the course that I'm going to be offering coming up starting on September the 13th in London, which is a Thursday night, we're going to be diving into the riches of the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, which is a very ancient tantric text, originally written in Sanskrit a couple of thousand years ago or more. And in this text, you know, as soon as I use the word text, I can imagine people might start to think, oh God, this is going to get boring. But actually, no, it's super, super, super juicy. And it might also not be what you imagine. This is set out as a dialogue between the god and the goddess, and the goddess asks her beloved these questions, and I'm paraphrasing, but I wonder if you've ever asked yourself these questions, and I'm just gonna read them out. So, for example, the kinds of questions about existence that we all ask ourselves, I certainly have asked myself this. What is the universe? What is the awareness within the universe? What is the energy that our bodies feel and that moves our bodies? What is the matter that things are made of, you know, like tangible objects like my physical body or the phone that I'm holding in my hand? What is life? And how do I find wholeness? So these are kinds of questions that many people ask themselves. I've been asking myself those questions since I was about 11, I think, you know, and I've been searching for an answer to those questions about existence that we all have in those still moments when there's nothing to distract us from our being with ourselves. And the answer, one form of answer, it's not the answer. There's never any claim to having an absolute truth about anything, which is what I love about these tantric meditations and the tantric path. And here is how Shiva, or Bhairava, gives his answer to the goddess when she asks him those questions. So this is a path of intimacy with all of life. Nothing is left out. This is a path of unifying body and soul, sex and spirit, the individual and the universal. There's no ritual, there's no music, there's no magic, there's no incantations that you have to do to get the answers and to understand this within your own body, within your own being. So this is not a knowing or an awakening or a learning that comes from a truth that somebody tells you, that you understand intellectually. It's a deeply embodied, experiential knowing of this within yourself. No expert is needed to interpret sacred texts for you. Just like in religions, that's what happens all the time. There's no hierarchy of progress. There's not a long journey that's necessary. You know, so often in the spiritual world, we talk about having to go on this long journey, and I'm on my journey, and blah, 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 blah. Well, it's all not necessary. There's no judgment, there's no punishment, and there's no reward. So again, in traditional religions, there's a lot of guilt and shaming that happens as a way of controlling us. Well, Tantra is not about that in the slightest. There is no direction to follow, and perhaps that can be a really hard thing for us to understand, because the answers are right here. The answers are right here, and these meditations, there's 112 of them, give us a clue, they give us a flavor, they give us a taste of the nectar of life that is right here in every moment. And it's right here in every moment where again, this is just paraphrasing from the texts. The practices are a nectar available every moment to anyone, and all that is required is to go to the place where flesh and spirit meet. And if that doesn't mean anything to you in this moment, just for example, notice how you breathe and think of, as your breath comes in and out of your body, having a sense of your finite self, the flesh of your body, meeting spirit in the breath, and meeting the breath which is part of the infinite, which is part of the all. And there already you have a place where flesh and spirit meet. And in fact, I've been going through the text. There are at least 7 meditation practices out of the 112, which are specifically just about the breath. So there are different gateways that we have, and all of them are a part of the everyday and can be a part of every day. So we don't need to set ourselves apart. We don't need to go and sit in silence, although we can, and that is also a part of it. So nothing is excluded, but it's just opening up the notion of meditation to chopping carrots, to washing the floor, to breathing, to looking at a beautiful sight, to having a memory, to following your train of thought, to making love, to dancing, to reading, to chanting, to singing, to sounding, to eating, to smelling. So all of these different paths or gateways into meditation, into connection with all that is, into a knowing of our being more than just this finite self. In the course that I'm going to be offering, we're going to be exploring, there will be 7 independent workshops, so you can sign up for all 7 as a course, or you can come to them individually and drop in. Each evening we're going to be spending a couple of hours diving into these meditations as a delight, as a play. So we're not going to be taking ourselves too seriously the whole time, or the practices too seriously, because we are invited to play with them. We're invited to find the joy, the delight, to experiment, to create. So not to get fixed on some dogmatic following of a particular way of doing things. And in that playfulness, in that sacredness, in that exploration, in the being together, we're going to experience an ever deepening enrichment of ourselves, and possibly some new insights, possibly a new feeling of connection with the sacred within ourselves, possibly a new sense of connection with everything and everyone, possibly other kinds of energetic awakenings. Who knows? I'm not going to promise you anything, but I do know that these practices, if we make them a part of our lives, enrich our sense of wholeness, of unity, of inner peace, our capacity to communicate the truth of what is happening for us authentically in the moment, enhances our sexual lives, our sensuality, our feeling fully at home in our skin, and our self-love. Also, really brilliantly, what I love for me is that this is a path that is often identified with the feminine, and as a teacher of the divine feminine, that really resonates powerfully for me. And it's something I'm also going to be bringing into my Awakening Shakti online group program, which I'll talk about another time. But if you are in London or near London and you are called to this exploration of true, deep, authentic Tantra in a really beautiful space, in a beautiful way, then go to my website, www.shaktisundari.com. All the details are there on the calendar page, or on my Facebook page, or I shall also post the link below. And if you can't find it, just say something below, make a comment, and I'll send you the information. So the first workshop is in Thursday, September the 13th, 7 till 9 p.m. in North London, N4, and every other week, so not every week, every other week until December. It's going to be delicious, and I would love you to come and join me. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with you soon. Much love and Sat Nam.